would be two huge forces. It would be like, I don't know, like the pubis of an ant or something like that. Hello, and welcome to Imperfect Garden. My name is Robert. Today we are going to start preparing for something I talked about like 1.5 months ago. And that is, I want to do my own pesto. But not a normal pesto. Now we're talking about some like a budget pesto. A pesto that doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. Because normally, if you want to do a normal classical pesto, you need to have fresh basil, of course, Parmesan cheese, garlic, salt and pepper, oil, and pine nuts. And if you know what all of these things cost in the store, you will be surprised how expensive pine nuts are. Parmesan cheese, if you want to have the real Parmesan cheese, is very expensive too. Fresh basil, is it expensive? Yeah, it depends on where you live and where in the season you are. But if you want to do it in the winter, of course, and if you live in a cold country, you have to pay a lot for fresh basil. And believe me, a long time ago, I should say, now will become a story again. A long time ago, I was like, oh, I want to do my own pesto because it's so bloody good. So I went to the store in Sweden and like bought all the ingredients I needed. And I thought, when I got out of the store, like, this was a little bit expensive. I paid a lot of money for this. But I thought, never mind. I will have my own homemade pesto. And I started doing my own homemade pesto. And I got this much pesto. Like 200 Swedish crowns. And I was like, meh. I could just gone straight and bought one pot of pre-made normal pesto from some low-cost country. But it's easy to be wise. No, it's easy to be wise in the hindsight. I don't know the proverb. Never mind. Since then, I have made my own pestos because after that I realized that, man, you can make lower price pestos. Grow your own basil. Don't make the pesto in the winter. Grow your own basil and make it when it's season for it. Already, because you need to have a lot of basil because you grind it and you go from bushes to a pasta. So you need to have a lot of basil, so it's much cheaper if you grow it yourself. Pine nuts, for some reason, I don't know why, they are very, very expensive. You pay a lot for a very small bag. And the same thing here, if you want to make a lot of pesto, you need quite a lot amount of pine nuts. Exchange the pine nuts for sunflower seeds. It's a huge difference in price. The difference in taste, I think maybe there is difference in taste, but when you have it in the pesto, I don't know, if you are like some gourmet, you can probably feel the difference. I can't do it. Garlic is garlic. You can always find low price garlic. Olive oil, same thing there. You don't have to have the ultimate super extra virgin, has never been touched in all its lives. You can have like a normal olive oil, not the lowest, but like in the middle class. Salt and pepper, yeah, let's say salt and pepper. Yeah, and then Parmesan cheese, it's expensive too. But you can find other hard cheeses that has been stored for a long time. They still have the umami taste and everything, and it doesn't have to be the most expensive Parmesan. Find a alternative. So, where am I going with this video? I have lost my track again. So the whole idea now is I want to do a budget pesto that tastes good when it's not in season, because this is spring and we are not in season. So, I've used sunflower seeds. I'll use a cheaper cheese, but still that is like at least 18 months, 2 years storage period for it, so it's a hard, very tasty, strong cheese. And instead of basil, I'm going to use pea sprouts. And I'm like, now, what the hell are you talking about? Are you going to use pea sprouts instead of basil? Are you crazy? And I'm like, maybe I am, or maybe I'm not crazy. Maybe this could taste... there is a difference in taste, of course. Basil is basil, fresh basil is amazing. Pea sprout, but they still, both of them have the green taste, the It's fragrant, not as much as basil, but still. So we're going to do a huge amount of pesto over in 2 weeks. So today we need to start cultivating an insane amount of pea sprouts, because I know when you start grinding it, that huge bushes you have will be a very small pasta. So let's start preparing a huge cultivation of pea sprouts. When we want to do a bigger cultivation, we will have one big problem immediately, because remember when I did the pea sprouts, I used 2 old ice cream packages, and I can show you this. I used these 2. I could make a closed system, because this one has 2 holes in it, this one has not. I put the knees, and the water I put in here, the excess goes down to here, so it's like it has a good wetness in here, because you need to have it wet, because if it's dry it kills them. And also in the beginning I could have water in here, I could have the lid on, and the water and moisture in here would circulate and not evaporate out in the air. But remember, even with this one I got a good amount, but it's not good enough. And I don't have any boxes or anything that is huge for this. So instead we are going to use just 2 trays. This is normal, dinner trays. And we're going to cover these in soil. Let's say about 3 centimeters deep. And we will cover it in the peas. And then we will water it. But here we will have a huge problem, because the pea sprouts want it to be very warm, and they want to have sun, and they want to have water. And as you can see, this is completely open, 3 centimeters of soil. That means I have to water it more than once per day. Otherwise it will very fast dry out and nothing will happen. So this will be much trickier. It's much easier to have a contained system in the beginning until they start sprouting, and then when they grow up to the edge, then you can lift it off. So this will be a much trickier, but you can imagine the amount. It will be 2 huge forests. It will be like, I don't know, like the pubis of an ant or something like that. So let's get the soil, put the soil on, pack it a little bit now, because we don't want it too loose now, and then start watering it first, and then put out the peas. And here goes now the last of the, 3 bags? 3 bags of propagation soil I bought. I think it was. And finally we come to the end. I know now, well, next year I'll cultivate insanely more. I did a lot today than this year, of course, but this is just the first spring in a long time that I'm cultivating. So next year I will be much more. But now I can have a better understanding how much propagation soil I need. Because this was in 3 bags. I can have it a long time. But of course, next year I have decided I will start cultivating more, and I will start selling seedlings. I will make a company out of this. This hobby of mine will be a company, a business. So if anyone in Sweden, in Värmland in Sweden watching this, next year you can buy plants from me. Yeehaw! And it will be not too expensive. It will not be like one tomato, normal tomato will cost you like 100 euro. No. I will instead make a lot of seedlings. Because now I have 3 big shelf systems. That will not be enough for next year, but I have a good start here. Okay, let's see now. We have the soil on. We will make it moist. I love the word moist. You hear me? That is like, I have a very, very simple vocabulary. So I have some favorite words that always says, like bloody for everything. And moist, I say, propagation, soil. Yeah, I like a robot with a very limited vocabulary. Ah, look at that, looks good. Let's see, where's my bloody water? Ah, you see it, bloody again. Because the propagation soil is already very dry again, because it's an open bag, so we will really start drenching it. I did not say it moist now, I said drenching it. I don't want it to be moist, I want it to be like I don't know which country, like Bangladesh in a monsoon, that wet. I was about to say, you know, WAP song from Cardi B, but I did not say that because then YouTube will be very angry with me and say you cannot say these kind of words in YouTube. So I say WAP, that wet. Now we start with the peas. And as I said, I used this amount for filling this one up, and I had 2 harvests. So it's amazing how much you can use one low price yellow peas package. I will have more on. I will start pushing them down a little bit because I want to have. They should not be on top of each other. They should be like close to each other. They can touch, but close to each other. But don't pack them too much. I mean, it's like, you will see. Because if you're packing them too tight, maybe not all will take. And then, like, even though it's low price, you still want to have as much sprouts as possible and as little that will not take. It's the same like when you do popcorns, of course. You want to have the exactly right amount of oil, the right size of the pot, and the perfect amount of the popcorn. And it's the same thing here too. You want to have good economy in your yellow peas. So as much as possible will take. And it's no waste. Oh, I'm in the end. It's over. Really? Now I thought I had enough. I have too little on this one. Ah, damn it. Okay, we will try to, we will move them around a little bit. Here I was like, oh, there's so much in the box. There will never be a problem. It's like an endless box of yellow peas. And I was like, no, I was so wrong. Ah, damn it, Robert. Spread them out a little bit. Can take a little bit more here. Spread them. Nah, don't lose them on the floor too. Okay. Let's say this is good enough. Good enough. Not good enough. Okay. The last trick now, because we want to keep them moist as long as possible, especially in the beginning. Later on, when they start growing, it's easier because they will contain their own moist, but not in the beginning. We would use plastic wrap. So this becomes like a small greenhouse, like a small mini greenhouse, like this. And also it's an easy way, it doesn't cost anything. The only problem is, as a man, I cannot cut this. You have to be a woman or have some sort of delicacy. Because no. I hate plastic wraps. You can never tear them off, you know. Or the problem is I always buy the very, very low price brand. Like this. In the end I had to use bloody scissors to cut the plastic wrap. Okay, never mind that. I'm finished. It looks very ugly, but now we will have like 2 very improvised mini greenhouses that will contain the moist for at least the first couple of days. Because remember, the peas start cracking and sprouting pretty fast. Takes a couple of days only. We will have them warm window again. I'll start now because now we have the evening sun, so they will have sun immediately. They have the moist in here. I will lift this at least every morning and feel the soil and how wet it is, and continue on. And every time I come from work, I will check them again. So yeah, so I'm very excited for this. I want to make my super low budget pesto because my kids love pesto and I love pesto too. Well, thank you for watching this video, and please like, subscribe and give me comments, and please follow this low price pesto project. See you in the next video. Have a beautiful spring. Goodbye.